What's up, guys? It's Kikizilla101 here. So we're just gonna let some people running the stream. Boy, it's been a long time since we've done one of these. When's the last time we did one of these? July 27th? Wow, we didn't do any during the month of August. That's why that playlist is so far down my list. Hello, King Egypticus. Hello, Tyrant's Domain. Hello, Giga Studios. What's up, guys? Hopefully everybody's kind of getting out of school at this point. I wanted to stream today because it's like the only day I had free to stream. I just kind of wanted to stream and, I guess, talk. But let's just wait for a couple more people to come in, and then I'll explain what the title of this live stream is referring to, which I bet some people are going to wonder what that's in reference to. We have some stupid sketch show guy here. It says I'm on live chat. Oh, you can't switch to top chat. Cool. I don't like top chat. I like live chat because then you see everything. That's weird. Okay. I guess nobody else is joining in. All right. So yeah, I slacked off this weekend. It's kind of a joke because I started a new job at an animal hospital, and I was working literally all weekend, 4 days straight, with basically no life outside of work. So that was fun. And so, yeah, I've had like very little that got done with like Mesozoic Isle episode 3 and stuff like that over the weekend. Just like barely anything was done because work. But I need the job. I need the money. Unfortunately, I already submitted my channel for review to YouTube so I could get monetization, so I can get some money off of YouTube, and that can support what I'm trying to do here. But it's been over a month and a half now. It's coming up to 2 months, and YouTube hasn't gotten back to me on it. They're just taking their sweet time with that. So that's fun. So but I need this job. So I can get money and stuff. And yeah, Patreon money isn't quite enough to pay for all the expenses of all this stuff. So yeah, that's fun. So yeah, job necessity, but unfortunately that weekend I just got like nothing done for YouTube stuff. But that's because I just started and they were really understaffed and they needed some help and stuff. So I was getting that, and I worked on Labor Day, so I was getting double time then and whatnot. But very soon here, I'm going to get back to where I have like 4 to 5 days free, or at least mostly free during the week. So I'll have less time at work, so I'll get more stuff done. Episode 3 is like more than a third of the way done visually. So yeah, yay, got some progress done. But other than that, it's been kind of slow. I'm still busy editing the final episode of Venomorph. Cool, man. I'm going to edit some of my vids. Sweet, dude. Go for it. I think today's school day, right? Yeah, it's Tuesday. Yeah, it's a school day, so we're not going to get a lot of people in. This is usually our hot period for streaming, was around here, but maybe it was a little bit later when it was school time. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've streamed, and then it's been even longer since I've streamed while school was going. So we don't have a lot of people in the stream right now, but I didn't plan on streaming for very long today anyways, so we'll just kind of have it go for as long as it's alive, and then we'll just shut it off. So we'll see how this goes. I actually resurrected Ares, and he is now an Acanthosaurus. Oh, that's interesting. How is everyone's day? My day has been all right, kind of tired. I hope you had a good day, Bermudasaurus. Not sure if you've seen, but episode 4 of Dinosaurs Unleashed is now out. Oh, I have not seen it yet. I'll have to watch that. Well, I have to wait till I can get back in contact with Cesar, because he's busy with school. My friend Cesar, aka ArtsyDilo, he and I have been watching Dinosaurs Unleashed together. We've been watching the whole thing. So from episode 1, 2, and 3, we watched all those together. It might be time zone thing, since for everyone that is Yeah, I know what the time zone thing is, but usually this area is the hot spot for around 2 to 3 my time is usually the hot spot, is when I get when most of the time zones converge and most people are available. But when you're in school period, it's a little bit more iffy. So I don't know if it's like it was a little later when school was in. Maybe it was around 4 my time or something. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But yeah. I still wait for Dinosaurs Unleashed episode with Majungasaurus. Was there like a Majungasaurus in the intro? Is that what you're talking about and referring to? I haven't seen episode 3 in a long time. Yup. Howdy, A Nova's here. What's up, man? Yeah, just in general, I mean, like, even though that I have been gone, I mean, it's not that bad of a time to disappear, because like nothing's been going on in the community right now. It's kind of dormant, sleepy, not dead, but it's just kind of down period. Like, no figure reveals from any companies. We don't have any like new big episodes coming out. Like Dinosaur Island episode 8 hasn't come out. We don't have anything else going on right now. So like right now it's kind of like a down period. I mean, Cameron hit 7,000 subscribers. So that's awesome. But I mean, like, a milestone is, a continuous thing. So I mean, I don't know. Nothing much has been going on right now. So I guess it's good that I have been busy then. That episode will be much later down the road. Got a lot left over, or left to cover. I'm like half awake, even though I slept in. I didn't put an alarm on today. I was like, I'm not gonna set an alarm. I'm just gonna get as much sleep as my body desires, and I'm still tired. Oh shoot, but Safari should reveal their figures within the next month or two, right? Can't wait for that. I mean, yeah, if probably like October at the latest is probably when they'll reveal their figures. I mean, wasn't it October, like early October, when they were revealing their figures last year? Something like that. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Safari. As a matter of fact, all of the hashtag #AlwaysSafari people, as far as I know, and last time I talked to them, we've all been kind of ghosted by them for like 2.5 months, maybe 3. Basically, ever since I came back from CSAR's thing, like that was the last time I talked to them. Right after I came back from seeing CSAR in June, that was the last time I spoke with them. And we've all sent them emails that just haven't returned, and we don't know if like our contact maybe left the company or something, but we haven't heard anything. And we were all kind of hoping that they would do something like last year where they would send out figures to be revealed with us, but we haven't heard anything. I mean, even if they did tell me, I wouldn't tell you. Like, if they did it, I wouldn't tell you that happened. I don't think I'd be allowed to, but I can tell you right now, I just wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't even bring up the topic. So I can confirm to you right now, they haven't said anything to any of us. I've personally asked them if they're going to do it, but yet again, that was in my last email. No response. I know Spino Dude asked them, no response. So I don't know what's going on. They just kind of deeded. I don't know. They're just like the contact with them has just kind of died. I should try to message like somebody else in Safari and see if maybe the contact did leave, and that's why we're not getting anything, and we get a new contact or something. But I have been too lazy to write up an email, and I've been really tired and had other things to worry about. So, yeah. Do you have any idea of how they're going to reveal this year? Because I know last year, half of the figures were revealed in like July. Yeah, that's because they sent them out to people. That was in July, and we were kind of hoping it'd be around that time, but now it's not happening. August flew by too, so it looks like, if I'm being honest, at this point, unless they're like they decided they want to scoot it up further and like reveal the figures closer to the end of the year, and they still want to do that, then cool. But I am kind of leaning more towards that they're just going to do a typical reveal where they just show them all off online. They're not going to send any figures out to people, which kind of sucks. I mean, I just entered hashtag as far in and I could do that, but not that big of a deal, to be honest. So either way, we should be getting them relatively soon. I don't think it's going to be this month, if I'm being honest. If it is, it's going to be the very end of it, I'm sure. I don't think that they're going to, just with the whole trend of how, I honestly think it's going to happen later. Let's see, I've missed a lot of comments here. Yeah, Ogie, how about you not? And this, a chill chat or something serious happening. It's just chill. I was just, in terms of the title, I was referring, people have been coming in now. I was referring to the fact that I started a new job, and so I was like literally 4 days in a row was working all day. Literally 2 of the days I almost worked 12 hours straight. And yeah, so I've had like no life over the weekend, and I got barely anything done. So it's kind of like just a joke of me not really slacking, but like, was he slacking? Was he not doing anything? Well, I wasn't really doing anything related to YouTube, but it's because I have a job. Yeah, if you want to know more, then skip to the beginning of the stream. I explain it better there, and then click the live button and catch back up with the live stream here. Got a working complete Bull Rex yesterday for $60. That's cool, man. Oh, the Kenner one? That's sweet. Those must be pretty rare to come by since they have like gadgets to them, right? And it's working. That's pretty crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a contest for their new figures. A contest? Huh. That's something I haven't heard of before, but interesting idea. I want a friggin' Despleto from Safari. Despleto would be pretty cool. I'd prefer an Albertosaurine, just like either Gorgosaurus or Albertosaurus, preferably Albertosaurus. But yeah, a Despleto is definitely something I'd like to see eventually. Not right now. I want to see something that's more different from Tyrannosaurus than Despleto is. One of freaking Sarko and Mahjong. Those are two really good ones, yeah. I really want to see Papo make a Sarcosuchus because they'd nail it. They do crocodilian stuff great. And the Majungasaurus, yeah, that would be really nice because we know that Safari would do good on that since they basically already made a Majungasaurus just with Carnotaurus horns on it. So there you go. Majungasaurus is a must. Might get the Vitali Majunga. I don't really care for that one, to be honest. I think it's all right, but I don't think it's anything special. It's just a little expensive for something that small too. I want a new Dilo. Yeah, Dilo is necessity. We need a new Dilo. Concavinator and Cryo. Yeah, I hope that the Dilo will be made like next year or the year after that, and then like after that we'll get a Concavinator and Cryo in the same year as like Carnegie remakes. Excuse me. I just got I think spit or something went down my throat in the wrong pipe. Yeah, I think those ones definitely need to be remade. I don't know if the Dilo was in the Carnegie line, but I know that it's been, gone for a long time, and we need a new one. So, it'd be interesting if they did more obscure Albertosaurine, maybe like Electrosaurus. Something. Electrosaurus would be pretty interesting. Yeah, I think Collecta is more likely to do that. But I definitely would be lying if I said I want an Electrosaurus more than an Albertosaurus. I think that we need an Albertosaurus or Gorgosaurus more. They're just like the more basal like Albertosaurine like body style. Just like give us a base one. We haven't gotten one of those in like forever, and we need one because they're really popular, and we don't like have any good versions of them. And I think obscure species need to be like held off until you get all those big ones off, first, because just as a logical standpoint, those are going to make more money. It's more likely. So, yeah. Collecta Majunga is the best Majunga. Yeah. If they were to get a Majungo and Sarko, they'd technically be ripping off Mattel. What is up with you and just like saying everything's a ripoff? Like Sarko and a Majungo, I don't even know they made those. And just because the two figures of the same species come out in the same year does not mean that they're ripping off each other. Not even close. I I have arrived from feeding my poison dart frog. Hey, that's pretty cool. Poison dart frogs are pretty cool, little guys. Kiki, what's your favorite company / line besides Safari, Vitae, and Carnegie? Well, Carnegie is Safari. I know a lot of people consider Carnegie separate. I don't. I just think it's like Safari has, their Great Dinos line. Nobody like ever says, do you like Great Dinos or Safari more? It's like, no, it's everybody just considers it Safari. That's the way I look at Carnegie. It's just an old Carnegie line. There's an old Safari line. So besides Safari and Vitae is definitely Collecta. Collecta is just awesome. I love Collecta. Papo is really great too. So yeah, that's probably it. PNSO is really good as well. Those are all really good picks. Probably currently is Collecta. It's number one, then PNSO, then Papo. So that's probably my order right now. But PNSO has been climbing up, so we'll see. They'll probably derank Collecta at some point if Collecta continues to make really wonky figures. But yeah. How about Lythronax, like Collecta's, but the detail would be better. Also, mine's starting to warp. Yeah, everybody's like Lythronaxes are not lasting long. It's such a cool figure. It's so unfortunate that those things are just getting like busted so easily. Yeah, the Lythronax would be really cool. I'd prefer Lythronax over a Despledosaurus, but then again, to be fair, Despledosaurus hasn't really gotten as much figure representation. Well, no, I'm wrong. Despledosaurus has gotten way more figure representation than because there's like 3 different figures of Despledosaurus, and there's like 1 of Lythronax. Lythronax has gotten better figure representation, but I still think Despledosaurus needs to get it first because it's a pretty well-known Tyrannosaur that just hasn't really gotten that good figure yet. So I would like to see that one a little bit before I'd get Lythronax. As long as there's not a Dynamo Terror figure, I'm good. I think Tarbosaurus done by Safari would be great. A Tarbosaurus with more Aliraman traits, at least. Yeah, but why? Why would you put Aliraman traits on it? I would love a Tarbosaurus. I was talking to Gibson about this before, Binoculsaurus. I was talking to him about this before, and we were talking about, like, how Safari does some extreme poses sometimes that are just like, you're like, I kind of like the Spino. It's in a swimming pose. Like, wish it was just a basic pose, so it wasn't so specific. And then we'd have a nice Spinosaurus that just everybody can go to. And then maybe you could make another model of the Spinosaurus that was in a more extreme pose like that, or maybe like a flying Pteranodon and the standing Pteranodon, stuff like that. So we were saying, like, we want a Tarbosaurus, but Tarbosaurus is so much like T-Rex. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know what side you guys are on, but my side personally, Tarbosaurus and T-Rex are basically the exact same animals with very subtle differentiating facial features. They are different animals. I do agree that they're different animals, but I think they're extremely similar and not really enough to warrant an entire new figure, especially so soon after we just got a T-Rex figure. However, if you did something really extreme with the pose on it, I think it would work. Like, let's say, for instance, you did a non-feathered Tarbosaurus, so it contrasts their feathered T-Rexes they just made. And it's a little bit more up to date with the more accurate current thinking of Tyrannosaurus, which unfortunately doesn't have feathers on it, but accuracy. And what if it's like hunched down, kind of like the hyena, and it's like it's got its lips like perched up and it's like snarling and growling at you? So like the Hyenodon is what I meant to say. So like the Hyenodon, how it's kind of like had his head down and snarling. I would love to see a Tarbosaurus figure from Safari that just has that really cool pose where it's just kind of standing its ground, has its head down and just like snarling. I think that'd be really cool because it's an exotic pose, but since it's so similar to T-Rex, it doesn't feel like we're wasting it on it because, let's be honest, they're so similar. You can use T-Rex figures to represent Tarbosaurus, and you can use Tarbosaurus figures to represent T-Rex. They're that similar. You're not going to, obviously there's most figures are fairly inaccurate anyways, including the 2017 feathered T-Rex, which has a lot of inaccuracies. So really, you're not going to be able to tell the immediate differences between Tarbosaurus and Tyrannosaurus as easily with the figures anyways. So it doesn't really matter in my opinion. That's just my opinion though. I'd love to hear what you guys think on the matter though. I would love to see Supersaurus represented by Safari Ltd, one of the coolest sauropods in Morrison. Yeah, Supersaurus is one that's really cool in the Morrison formation, and it hasn't been really shown off very much. Barosaurus is fairly cool too, but it's just a Diplodocid that's a lot like Diplodocus, so not too much different going on there. Dryptosaurus as well. Dryptosaurus would be pretty cool. Dang it, Aiden. Dynamoterra is my second favorite dinosaur. I know. It's just a little running gag with myself and I think Spino Dude, where like I'll speak for myself, not him, because he can explain himself on his end of it. But it's just like a joke we kind of run around. I don't know how his true feelings are right now, but mine are. I just really don't like Dynamoterra, like in the fact like it annoys me. I still like it as an animal, of course, it's a dinosaur, but it annoys me because all it has going for it is a cool name and everybody loves it. And I'm just like, it's just a cool name. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But if you like it, awesome. Awesome. I get it that there's like very subtle features that are like, hey, it has a slightly different looking head, but you don't really know for sure. It's just a really tiny petty thing. Admittedly, it's very petty, but it's just a little minor annoyance to me where it's just like, oh, it just has a cool name and everybody loves it just because it has a cool name and nothing else. And I'm just like, whatever. I don't like that whole like bandwagon that went on with it. So that's just my thing. Xenoposeidon. I have never heard of that one. That one's interesting. Wait, are we getting a Safari Tarbosaurus? No, I never said that. I said that's what I want. I would like a Safari Tarbosaurus. There are a couple studies showing that Tarbosaurus and Alioramus would have been closely related and not as close as Tyrannosaurus Rex. The lockjaw and skull shape are the main differences. I guess I can kind of understand that. I haven't seen anything like that, so I don't know. I won't speak like an expert on it. But to me, Tarbosaurus still looks like, just when you look at its skull, it looks really similar to a T-Rex. I'm kind of on the side where they could be fairly a lot closer related than we think. I still think they're separate genuses just because of the time separation from when like the continents separated and whatnot. It wouldn't match up perfectly, but I think that they're still pretty similar. I don't think Alioramus is that closely related to Tarbosaurus. That's just my opinion, though. That's not an expert opinion. Well, yeah. Would have been closer. I read that. Mermaid chairs. Alberto, Alior, Electro, Das, EO, and a new Utyrannus. Yeah, I really want a new Utyrannus. Safari made theirs. It's all right. It's not anything special. It's my favorite dinosaur, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not the most pleased with the Safari Utyrannus. I'd like to see Collecta make one. I think they would make a nice one. I'd really love to see Collecta make one. I know PNSO has a model for it because way back at the beginning of this year, they had a big museum like convention thing in like Beijing or something like that, somewhere in China, and it was they had a giant sized up model of Utyrannus, and they had a couple other models too that were like really sized up. They were basically like Wilson and Doyle and whatnot, but they had a Utyrannus there, and apparently I think someone said that they saw that they have a small version of the model too. So I know that PNSO has a model of Utyrannus. They just haven't released it yet, but PNSO's been releasing tons of figures, so I'm hoping that we're going to get a Utyrannus from them soon, and they have my money. So yeah, that would be really fun and nice. I'm not late. Yush, you're not late. You're came in about 20 minutes in. Yeah. I want a Shantungosaurus from Safari. It's such a cool animal. Yeah, they're freaking huge, dude. I would like well, we already got a Dinochirus from them, but just like a better Dinochirus from some company. I like Collectas a lot. Collectas is decent. It's not the best, but it's the best Dinochirus out there in my opinion, but it's not like the best it could be. And I'd like to see a better Dinochirus because Dinochirus and Shantungosaurus and Therizinosaurus are just such huge herbivores, and it's really fascinating, that whole environment there. How they're all like, well, Therizinosaurus wasn't bigger than Tarbosaurus, but Dinochirus and Shantungosaurus were both bigger than Tarbosaurus, and it's likely all of them shared the environment, or at least crossed over. So that's just a really cool scenario to think about. A Safari Edmontosaurus would be great. Yeah, it'd be cool to see an updated Safari Edmontosaurus. I think that's really likely figure to come out. Sciat figure would be nice. It's interesting since it's essentially the last Neovenator. I don't know much on that, so I'm just going to plead ignorance. As far as Utopter, we need that. Yes, I'm with you there, man. We need a Utah Raptor. Yes, just give us the Utah Raptor. I'd like to see a Dakota Raptor too, but I'm going to be honest. I'm going to throw a little child fit if we get a Dakota Raptor before a Utah Raptor, because Safari's only made a Utah Raptor once, and it's this like old... let me just grab it. It's this old, really masterpiece of a figure there. It's not the best thing ever. So yeah, that's the only Utah Raptor they've ever made, and they really need to make a new one, especially with the updated skeletal structure of Utah Raptor. It'd be really nice to see that. Yeah, but if we get a Dakota Raptor before that, I'm gonna throw a fit. Just saying. Turbo had a slimmer skull. Yeah, that's the main difference, is Tarbosaurus had a slimmer skull. I like Dynamitero because of the name and because it's slightly different Lithe version of Lythornax, a third favorite dinosaur. Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, if you said that you didn't like it because of its name, then I would call you a liar, because it's basically 90% of the reason you could like that animal. Oh, I like this one little piece of rock that came off of it. That's my favorite part. I mean, let's be honest, everybody who likes Dynamitero likes it because of its name. Collecta makes the Utyrannus in the same mold as the Acro and Carcaro. That would be the day that just dinosaur figure companies die. Boys, how about that Peniso Yangchuanosaurus? That thing's beautiful. I know, it is really nicely done, but I don't want it. I don't know. I can't say it. I can't explain it for sure. I see it and I'm like, wow, that thing is amazing looking. I am not getting that. It's like one of those things where I recognize the quality, but I'm just like, I don't want it. I just don't feel like spending that much money on a Yangchuanosaurus. Like, it's just really amazing, but it's just not something I'm interested in getting. It's just really weird. And like the Peniso Ankylosaurus too, I saw that, I'm like, wow, that looks good, and I'm not getting it because I'm just happy with the Safari one. And the Safari one's more accurate, so that's nice too. Safari Dinochirus is really good, while somehow also being a tiny duck monster. Yeah, I don't have it, so I can't speak for how really good it is, but I think I've seen it in person at the museum. Now I think it's all right as a quality model, but it's like it's got that stubby problem that the Ceratosaurus and the Acro have from Safari. Or their proportions are really stubby, and that's my main problem with it. It just doesn't do a good job at representing Dinochirus. It's like it's basically similar, but not as bad as the Carnotaurus, like the new Carnotaurus. The new Carnotaurus does not capture the body style of Carnotaurus, like even a little bit. And the Dinochirus, it just doesn't capture because Dinochirus is so weirdly thin and odd in certain places for a large animal. Like, it honestly is a lot more spindly, like the Collecta one. If you actually look at accurate representations of it in paleo art, and I think Scott Hartman's done a skeletal one, I believe. But yeah, they're crazy looking, and just the Safari one does not capture that well. It's too stubby. It's got a nice art style to it, and it looks great for like a juvenile, but I just don't. And my biggest problem with it is its head, because the beak is just not curvy enough. Like Dinochirus had a really exotic beak, but that one's just really dulled down and kind of just like a duck. It looks very natural, like a real like bird beak, but it doesn't look like Dinochirus's beak. So that's kind of my thing with that. Just joined the stream. How you doing? I'm doing good. How about you? TPD. Yeah, there's the acronym. Let's see. I have a baby version of the old Safari Utah. I named him Bobby Spot. Yeah, I have the baby one too, up there with that mama. The only good Therizinosaurus are Papa 1 and the Collecta 1, but even the Papa 1 is kind of crap. I think I like the Papa 1 a lot. I just think it's a bad interpretation of Therizinosaurus as an animal. It's more like a Nothronicus, and then the feathers are just awful. Like, it's just like so half-butted. It's just so, yeah, that's just a real interesting figure. But as a figure, though, just on its own, I think it looks great. I really like it. But as a Therizinosaurus, nah. I think that the Collector one, the newer one, where it's like standing up and a little bigger, that one's nice. I want the Yangchuan so bad. I will enjoy it on your behalf. Cool. What is happening? What is the purpose of this stream? It's to stream. Dakota Raptor is my favorite dromaeosaur. Yeah, Dakota Raptor's cool, but Dakota Raptor needs to step aside and let Utah Raptor get a figure. I don't care if Dakota Raptor's new. Utah Raptor's been here waiting for a figure way longer. So that's my argument. Kiki, how is your progress on MI episode 3 going for you? It's going good in the terms of like over a third of it is visually done, but I haven't made like any progress over the weekend. I made barely anything because of the job that I just got. So yeah, but I plan to work on it today, and then I have work tomorrow. But in the afternoon tomorrow, I'll be working on it, and then I have 2 days off on Thursday and Friday. So yeah, that is the days I have off, right? Yep. I have Thursday and Friday off. I resurrected Hercules as Ares. Nice. Just check the most recent thing I sent you on Discord. I will try to get around to it if I have time. My thoughts exactly, TPD. I didn't see what TPD said. That's what you're talking about. The Papothere is poo, but at least it's not the Schleich one. And for anyone who thinks Schleich fixed that thing by giving it a spiffy dark mall paint job, just stap. I agree. That is the worst Schleich figure ever made, in my opinion. I've said this before. I don't think the Acro is nearly as bad as the Therizinosaurus. Like, the Therizinosaurus has a spike beard. The dude has like a spike redneck beard, like literally like a neck beard, like made of spikes. Like, what? It's just so awful. I hate it. That thing is just terrible. And then they just admittedly, the colors are much cooler on the Darth Maul one. It's not actually called that. So I'm just going with Binosaurus's joke. But it's just like, it's got a spiky neck beard. Like, just what the heck? I don't know. It's so wrong. I don't like it. But I do not agree with Gibson on saying that the Papothere is poo. I think it's a bad Therizinosaurus, but I love it. I think it looks really cool. And I guess I shouldn't say love it. I like it a lot. Tetraphonius would be an interesting choice for a figure, considering it's probably closely related to the direct ancestors of snakes. That would be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool to get that one. Kiki, what about the Schleich Plesio? That one's probably the third worst. Just a little bit better than the Acro, but still pretty terrible. And the fact it's got bendy wire just makes it worse. I'm gonna firmly stand here, okay? Everybody's like, "Whoa, it's got bendy wire. That makes it so good." I'm like, "Hey, it's got bendy wire. That makes it so bad." Because I mean, I'm for one have had so many bendy wire toys when I was younger. Here's two right off the top of my head. We have the Carnegie. What do you call it? The Carnegie Tanystropheus, and that thing broke easily. Then you have, I don't know if it was Safari, but I had this giant, like, bendy wire King Cobra that I just loved, and it just broke so easily. And I've had so many other ones, too, and I have NECA Godzilla figures with bendy wire, and I've put them into one position and never bent them because I've learned my lesson from so many different figures. Just those two, those are just two of the examples. I had like so many other figures. It's superhero toys with bendy wire and stuff. It was crazy. They just suck. I hate bendy wires. They just break so easily, and they scare me. Whenever I see them on a model, I'm like, no, they're just gonna break and ruin the whole thing. So I don't like bendy wire. So in my eyes, bendy wire is a negative, and it makes it even worse because the Plesio already looks not that great. But that's my thing. If you like it, cool. That to each their own. Don't let me hold you back. But that's just my opinion, and that is what people were asking. They're asking for my opinion. So don't get offended if I don't like it, because you can still buy it. My day is going good. Only some of episode 12 has been filmed and edited. Yet I'm gonna wait for episode 11 to come out and finish. Yeah, there you go. Fair enough. My Tanistropheus was decapitated 12 years ago. Bendy wires have no value. I shall destroy them all. Rage. Exactly. Okay, good now. I feel it, Gibson. I feel it, man. My Tanistropheus was decapitated as well. And I don't know where the rest of it went, but all I have now is just its body and the neck, and then it just stops, and then there's like a little nub of metal sticking out of the end. I'm glad they removed it as well, Novo. We need a proper 140th skill, Sarcosuchus. I don't care who makes it, but we need one. 100% agree. Sarcosuchus is freaking awesome. F in the chat for just like everybody's Tanistropheus. Like everybody's Tanistropheus freaking died, unless you just didn't touch it. You have to make a bendy wire right. On the neck of Godzilla, they used too thick of plastic. Kenner did it right. They stuffed it with cotton and then put latex around the cotton surrounding the wire. Yeah, I keep hearing people say you have to do bendy wire right. I'm sure there's ways you can cushion it, but it's still bendy wire, man. It's still bendy wire. So, I mean, I'll be honest. Maybe you could prove me wrong, but I'm just going to continuously hate bendy wire. If I see a bendy wire on something, I'll be like, nope, not doing that. That's just my thing. I've heard that Kenner did a pretty good job with it. Yeah, but I don't believe it. Not even a little bit, to be honest. I think even Spino Dude was trying to tell me that Kenner did a good job on it, but I don't believe it, so. Sorry. I guess I've been traumatized from all bendy wires, and I just refuse to believe that any of them can be good. Maybe some can last longer. I'll give you that. Maybe the Kenner ones last longer, but they're still bendy wire, so. And I have seen tons of bendy wire Kenner toys that are broken, so I know it's not like, oh, none of them break. But, yeah. How are you this afternoon? I'm alive. How are you? Especially the Thrasher Rex and Red Rex. I don't know these ones. I'm not a Kenner person. I never collected Jurassic Park toys, so, yeah. My only Jurassic Park toy is, like, proper toy is the Indoraptor from Mattel, and I have the little minis from Mattel from that one mini pack. I made a video on those. Then I have the Jurassic World gift set, which has the Indominus and the Rexy in there, the bookends. And I got that just because I wanted to make sure I got a good figure of the Indominus, because at the time Hasbro, the worst company ever, was making figures. However, my brother did get me a Hasbro Indominus Rex, like the smaller one that came with the gyrosphere. That was really nice of him. He got that for my birthday, so it was really nice. He's young. He didn't know better, but I appreciate that he got me that. I still have it. I agree, Nova. Just finished my homework. Sweet. Apparently, we are debating about rubber. Rubber. I don't know if you're talking about the movie or the actual material. Finally back on a stream. Hey, Godzilla, King of Kaiju. Kiki be grubbing on those Ritz crackers. Actually, they're those. Just grabbed them because they were interesting. I needed something to put in my mouth while I'm screaming. Yes, I purposely made that sound dirty because that's just how my mind works. Although, it's not something I'm going to do. Dude, a Papogiganotosaurus is like, you shouldn't just want it. It is required. They have been teasing us for so long. It is a requirement for Papo to come out with the Giganotosaurus. And, you know, Papo, those good old guys. They're like, oh, you know that Giganotosaurus we've been teasing you guys for so long? Yeah, we're not making that. Instead, we're going to give you another Spinosaurus. And remember the old one? Yeah, the one that's like really overrated. That one. And yeah, we're gonna make another one. It's just as controversial, but guess what? Get this. Get this. Get this. Get this. Get this. Get this. It's limited edition. So all of you fans of Papo, only some of you guys are gonna get it ever. But we're gonna make all the money. All the money. I have a lot of bitter feelings towards Papo about that limited edition Spino. If you couldn't tell. Obviously played up for comedy. Hey, Gigi, do you have a Twitter? Hi, by the way. Hi. And you kind of already said hi by saying hey. But I appreciate the hi. Anyways, I don't have a Twitter. That's the only... Well, I don't use Snapchat or Twitter. I don't really like social medias very much. I have Facebook. I have a Facebook page. The reason I have Facebook, it's where most of my family is, so that's the way I can keep in contact with all of them. So that's the pure reason I have Facebook. The only Instagram, the only social media I actually like is Instagram because it's so simple. I just don't, there's less advertisements, just less of those like stupid articles and political jargon that they throw on your face. You can just follow what you like, and you just see pictures and videos, and it's just really simple. So that's like really the only one I use actively. I'm rarely on Facebook, but every once in a while I go on there just to like check on the Facebook pages, or if somebody one of my family members tags me or something. But I don't like Twitter. I used it. I tried it. I hate Twitter. That's one of my least favorites. It's just me. It doesn't work for me. Just it's vibe, the culture there. It's just not for me. And it's got a lot of the political jargon and stuff that really annoys me about Facebook. But yet again, the only reason I have Facebook is because most of my family members there. So yeah. And Snapchat, I also think is just really stupid. It's just a glorified like way to text people. So, I mean, it's got a cool filter on it. I've used Snapchat before, and it's got the cool filter. I've joked around with those things before, and I have a bunch of videos of us making funny things with those on my computer. But other than that, I mean, I have never used Snapchat again since that one time I tried it, and it's just not for me. I can just use text messages. I'm very simple like that. Discord, yes, I guess you can call Discord a social media, but it's kind of more to me kind of like a social media in the same way that YouTube and Skype are social medias. It's a little different. I consider it a little bit different, but yeah, I do admit that it's the same. So that's probably my favorite social media if you include that in social media, besides YouTube. If you include YouTube as a social media too, then that's my favorite. And then Discord's my second favorite. And Discord replaced Skype. I used to use Skype to talk to all my friends that way, but now I don't use Skype anymore because it's boggy and outdated. Discord's the stuff. So yeah. The Papo Giga is the definition of a crapshoot. The mere thought of it frightens me. Oh, I forgot you're a butt munch about that. I forgot that. Unless you're joking, but if you're not, then you're a butt munch. Same. I think it will just be the same pose of the acro. If anything, I think Papo has proven that they just continue to try different poses. Aiden, did you laugh when I sent the image of Red Tooth on Discord? I don't know. You sent a lot of them. I haven't had the chance to respond to everything. I respond to you when I can, dude. But yet again, I get a lot of messages from people. And I've been really busy with work and stuff. And unfortunately, I have to ignore a lot of them. And I try to respond to people when I can. But sometimes I can't. And so I have to ignore a bunch of the just notifications and crap because I just don't have time to look through it all. If I did, then I wouldn't be editing videos. I just wouldn't have a life. It would take too long. I'm sorry. I try to get around to you guys when I can. But that's why I like doing these live streams, because then you can message me. I'm here and I can try to respond to everybody. That's a one period of time where I designate it so that I can just kind of communicate to you all. And I do hang out on Dino Nation every once in a while, so I'll jump in there and I'll jump into the conversation or something like that. Dude, anyone who has faith in a good Papo Giga is just diluting themselves. Okay. Butt munch. The messages are flocking this way. That's a good reference. I hope Dorian turns around and hits me. I don't want schools. Okay. The Papo Gorgo took us all by surprise. Yeah, Yeah, and yet again, it's got a controversial pose. Aiden, I was referring to the very first image I sent you, the image with the arms. Yes, the arms. The arms are the best thing ever. This the red tooth with the big, just like muscly arms, just hilarious. It's just hilarious. I don't need a Papo Giga. I've got PNSOs. Yeah, PNSOs is really nice. Although it's barely a Giganotosaurus. It's more like a what do you call it? Chased by Dinosaurs is Giganotosaurus. But yeah, I like the Vitae one a lot, and I like the Eofauna one a lot, and the Safari one a lot. PNSO one's really nice, and definitely going to be getting that sometime soon. And yeah, but I'd love to get Papo's take on it. I think they'd do a really good job with it. I like their acro. A lot of people have problems with it. I'm like, yeah, I have some problems with it, but it's really cool overall. And it's Papo. I don't expect quality accuracy, or even just sometimes I don't even really expect. Let's just be honest. I never expect a fully quality figure. Like there's always going to be some stupid quirk with a Papo figure. It's just how they are. Yeah. I think a Papo would do a pretty decent job on a Giganotosaurus, especially if it looks anything like their little mini one. I mean, sure, it's fairly low resolution, but it has a pretty cool little style going for it, and I'd love to see something like that. You just wait and watch as your Papo Giga is revealed to have the same pose as the Baryonyx, but with its tail straight up along the ground. I'm predicting it now, my people. Okay, butt munch. Kiki, if you had the chance, would you make a Dinotube school if it didn't cost anything? As in have a school where we all went to it and everyone over 18 is a teacher. What would we teach? I don't know. Having to deal with that many people would be a real pain in the butt. Hey Kiki, what's your opinion on beaked sauropods? It's an interesting topic of debate. No proof to solidify it as a confirmed thing. But there's things that are like, hey, this kind of seems like something was here. But then they're like, yeah, but we don't know. And why would it not be there? Why would it not be fossilized if it's a beak? So it's just it's very iffy. And currently you can go either or. It's kind of like lips on theropods. Currently, it seems like it's like, yeah, why wouldn't there be lips on theropods? Well, I don't know. Daspletosaurus is proof of the opposite. It's one of those cases where the lack of evidence is evidence in itself. Yeah, it's just kind of like it could be a thing. I don't know for sure. But yeah, it's not looking confirmed. For people that say like, oh, beaks are definitely a thing now, it's like, get off the bandwagon, dude. Don't be a quadrupedal Spinosaurus follower now. Get off the bandwagon and just take a moment to breathe, take it in, understand what we actually have, and reason with it. And same with the lips. Stop freaking out over the lips, guys. Lips are actually there's less proof. There's more proof against lips on Tyrannosaurs than there is proof of lips on them. So let's just calm down. Let's calm down and let's just take in the possibility that there could have been some environmental factor or some other element that we don't know of that allowed them to have exposed teeth, because currently there's more proof showing that than there's proof of lips. Just calm down. Just calm down. Just calm down. Calm down. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can still have your lips. You still put your lips on there. Doesn't mean that they're not there. It doesn't mean they're there. Okay? Okay? Let's just calm down. Just do your thing. I'll do my thing. Cool. Safari is going to make another flop figure like the Spino. Just have a feeling. If it happens again, like last year we had two duds. We had the Spinosaurus and the Carnotaurus. Those two were just pretty disappointing in various ways. Some people like them, but a majority of people are mixed about either or. They have mixed feelings. Some people are leaning more like, yeah, I like it overall, but yeah, there's a lot of things I have wrong with it. They have wrong with it, blah, blah. And so it's mixed with those two. The Pteranodon is also fairly mixed, and so is the Stego. So Pteranodon and Stego are kind of like on a second tier flop list, I guess, but not really flops. I think those were both 2 successes. Then the Spino and the Carno were both pretty down there. I think the Spino got the worst of the rap because that one, like, you know, was a bigger deal. It was a bigger figure everybody was waiting for. And then more people in general freaked out about that one. For me, I hate the Carnotaurus the most, but, you know, that's me. So, and some people agree with me that they think that the Carnotaurus is the worst out of all of them. But, yeah, it's a little bit more lean towards the Spino and a grand scheme of people. So I hope that doesn't happen again, because in 2018, we didn't really have a flop. We didn't have a flop like where it was like, what the hell? So the only one we can with a general consensus say that was a flop from 2019 was the Spino. There's no flop from 2018 or 2017. So I'm hoping that there won't be one next year. But if you have a feeling, then we all might be doomed. LMAO, I personally prefer lips on theropods because it makes them look more like animals, but I'm pretty against beak sauropods because if sauropods like Camarasaurus had a large teeth, then why need a beak? You're TPD. I love you, man, but I'm just gonna rebuttal you here. So, for the exact same reason that you like their beak or lips on theropods, you don't like beaks on sauropods. Gotcha. All I'm saying is they're the same deal. They're the same deal. The beaks on sauropods, we don't necessarily know. Like, I think they're kind of more referring to them as being kind of more like a little softer of beaks, not like hard beaks like that they'd actually be used for plucking. Some people think that, but I don't think it's the general consensus. But either way, they're both in that same ballpark of where, like, yeah, they could be there, but we don't know. And in the case of theropods, at least in tyrannosaurs, it's likely they didn't at this point. So, yeah. And I can understand, like, the lip thing. It does make it seem more, like, modern. But then again, you have to realize that not all animals are the same. And there's been life on this planet, or 99.9% of life on Earth happened before now that we'll never, ever be able to see. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff that can go on. There's a lot of diversity, a lot of different things. And lips are not a general requirement for species. So you can get around it. We do have animals that live nowadays that can get around it for very specific reasons and stuff like that. But it's not out of the question that things with that could have no lips. So we don't know for sure. Personally, I like a lot of theropods with lips as well. There's certain ones like Dromaeosaurs I think look really great with lips, but that's just an aesthetic taste. But if I'm talking accuracy wise, I don't think you should throw lips on your Tyrannosaurs. I just don't think that's accurate. And sometimes people just they go too far with the lips, and then it just doesn't look right. But I can admit I actually do quite like the aesthetic of lips as well. So I'm kind of in the same ballpark with you there. But at the same time, I also don't like them because they're not necessarily accurate on certain animals. So it's kind of like it's a tennis game back and forth. Don't you dare compare the Taro and to the Steg. The Steg objectively. Yes, you are. Hey, no, Gibson, you zip it, Butt Munch. You know my standing on that figure. You know that both you and I defend that figure, but I'm talking from an objective majority standpoint. You don't agree with me on how much I dislike the Spino still, so why can't we just have a catharsis right there as well? Where you just understand that I'm trying to talk about what the general public sees. It's a very controversial from the general eye, or controversial figure from the general public eye, not from me. I like the Stegosaurus. I think the Stegosaurus is great. The price is a little bit much, but I think it's a great figure. I think it's way better than the Pteranodon. I'm not talking about my opinion. I'm talking about general consensus that that's like tier 2, bottom right there, just above the Spino and the Carno. That's what I said. So get it right, Butt Munch. That's just going to be your nickname for this whole stream, since you're such a negative bad boy. Kiki, can we see the trailer for the Primeval TV show? Have you seen the trailer for? Primal, not Primeval. I saw the teaser for the caveman that was helping defend the mother T-Rex and the baby. I saw that teaser a while back, and I've heard a lot of things from it, but I haven't really followed it very much now. Dude, a sauropod with a beak would be freaking horrifying. if it was pissed at you. Dude, a sauropod period would be scary. I mean, people think that they're really gentle. Dude, we have evidence that sauropods ate meat. There's a lizard in the stomach of a sauropod. Think of a herbivore nowadays, just any of them, and I guarantee you that it's eaten something like some animal at some point. It doesn't even matter, by accident or on purpose, they do it. I've seen cows eat baby chicks on purpose because, you know, it's extra protein. It's easy. They're not full-on herbivores all the time. They're herbivorous majority of the time, but they will take advantage of protein when they can get it. Deers will eat bird eggs. They'll eat baby birds. You can look that up and you can find stuff like that. You can find there's a lot of different stuff on sauropods and stuff like that, but it's likely that they ate some people. So even without that, a sauropod could freaking eat somebody. Like if you went like a time travel and you went to the Morrison Formation, you saw a brachiosaurus, you're like, hey, that's cool, and it leans down like in Jurassic Park and you want to touch it, it'd probably just eat you off the branch. Like it would just be like, hey, look, this is some free protein, just eat you whole. I mean, it's just probably what happened. And think about it, like if you're like a bird on a branch and then a sauropod just eats the whole branch with you on it, you're just going to get digested. It happens all the time. Things like nowadays, like elephants and giraffes probably eat like tons of bugs and little, maybe some mice and stuff like that, and trees and snakes and trees and stuff by accident all the time. I guarantee you it happens all the time. So yeah, I guarantee even without the beak, a sauropod would just lean down and eat you if it wanted to. I really don't think that it would be that hard. Uploaded an hour of super rants about lips and gingers, or giggers. I read that completely wrong. Oh yeah, you were complaining about the one gigger. Have you stop at bum munch and you should tongue tied. Take one moment, Aiden. Hey, stop it, bum munch. You know my thoughts on that figure. There you go. If the community DinoTube was a country, then who would be the leader? Obviously Gibson. I mean, he started the DinoTube community. As it stands, this current DinoTube community was started by Gibson. So he'd have to be the leader. Obviously, like you'd have people that are like more popular than him. So you'd have Kayakasaurus. It's like in like a penthouse mansion, but Gibson's like the leader. He's like the president. But then you have like Kayakasaurus. He's got like a giant mansion sitting over there. And then like everybody else is kind of more like suburban homes and stuff. So yeah. Aries is as big as a gig, and now he's teaming up with Gabriel the Gig, and I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about your own. You're talking about your own series. You said Aries, yeah. Never mind. I know what you're talking about. It's like a cow eating chicks. Yep. Deer eats birds. Yep. Deer eat birds. I know, dude. People's complaints about the steg just PO me so hard because I don't understand how it isn't just another great safari figure that everyone likes, at least to some extent. I agree to some extent but I do see some of the complaints. I mean, yeah, the socks are just but I mean, they're not that big of a deal. You and I both know that they're not that noticeable in person. But the price is like, yeah. I mean, you and I got the figure for free, so we have a little, you know, we don't complain. We don't have as much of a bias towards that side of it. But I perfectly recognize that the price is an issue. I think it is. I think it's going to make it harder for people to be able to afford it. And yeah, so I can understand why people complain about that. But yeah. Thanks for the sauropod nightmares, you monster. You're welcome. I think one thing I just love, like if I ever got the chance to make a movie with dinosaurs in it, I would just love like with people interacting with dinosaurs. Like one of my first things I would do is like have it like where people just like completely misunderstand. They could walk up to like a ceratopsian and they think they could just like pet it or something if they're like slow and nice to it, and then it just eats them. Like it just eats one of the people. I think that would just be hilarious because it would just like totally flip everything on its head, but it would give you a more realistic interpretation of what it'd be like. And I think that ceratopsians like Triceratops probably would have used their jaws in combat a lot more like a Protoceratops than people anticipate. They probably were biting off T-Rex hands and stuff. It would be pretty cool. I'm having a nightmare now. Lips and gingers. That's something I really want to show in my series, that herbivores weren't always herbivorous. So your average ceratopsian eating out a carcass. Yep. Even caterpillars are carnivores. Yep. even caterpillars. Not Raptor Boy 101 would be the leader. No, I don't agree. Because, see, here's the thing. Raptor Boy 101 may have inspired Bioniclesaurus, but, like, Raptor Boy 101 is, like, the leader of, like, the old Soviet Union, and then Bioniclesaurus is, like, the new Russia, you know? So you don't have, like, that was the old community. That's not DinoTube. There was a different community back then. Gibson really started what we now call DinoTube. It's a different kind of community dynamic here. I vote David to replace me or Clayton. Well, you can always step down, but it's scary being a leader. Yeah, it probably is. Aiden the second to top predator of DinoTube. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna find that butt munch. I'm gonna kick his butt. I have a whole video ranting about the Stego's price. I don't blame you. Okay, I'm gonna leave chat now. Bye. See ya, Giga Studios. I think my Steg has the most perfectly painted socks out of all of them. Oh, I don't think I can even complain about them in the things review. Just don't look nearly as bad as everyone else's. Just because something looks better than everybody else's, I don't think that's a reason not to complain about it. So Gibson is Putin? Yeah, basically. Wait, why am I Putin? It was just a reference. I was saying, like, how Raptor Boy was like the old Soviet Union, and then like you had a revolution and you're the new leader, so you're like Russia, and so now they're relating you to Putin. Because I needed an example of a country that had an old version, then was like, you know, set over. But you know, the U.S. doesn't have that. It was just a free land of a bunch of happy Native Americans that were then slaughtered by the millions by white men. So happy thoughts. I'd be one to start a revolution and overthrow Gibson. Good. That butt munch needs to be taken out of power. If Aiden has had a class, we would learn the last names of other dinosaur of Mesozoic Isle. Rex is a primus species, for example. Now I need to know who George is. I need answers, you Giga lover. Well, George, I think he's a Statutomus. It'll say on the website when his page comes up, it'll tell you what species he is. But yeah, he's just probably a Statutomus. Oh, sure. Real convenient how I became Putin in less than 2 minutes. No, I wasn't calling you Putin. I was just using that reference. But, you know, whatever. That's the community, man. They do that stuff. Imagine a scene in a documentary where a Triceratops finds a T-Rex nest and gobbles all of the still squeaking chicks. That's so funny you said that because I literally say that in one of the videos that is going to be coming up on the channel. So I literally give that exact same example. Raptor Boy 101 would be the Tsar, Nicholas, and Gibson would be Stalin. You can go for that too, yeah. Hydration. What be this? There we go. It's all perspective, Gibson. Kiki, why is your name Retarded Lion on Discord? It's an inside joke. It's an inside joke. Most of my... recently, you probably noticed I have a lot of goofy profile pictures and names on a Discord lately. Long story short, there's a group chat that I hang out with Bioniclesaurus, Spino Dude, Dino Man, ArtsyDilo, Camosaurus, you know, Matthew Dinosaur King. I hang out with all those dudes all the time. And we have a lot of fun, and we have a lot of inside jokes. So they're purposely out of context because it's funny when you just have this random thing and then you just throw it on there and then other people see it and they're like, the hell? Like exactly what you're thinking probably with the retarded lion. Like, what the hell? That's the point. It's an inside joke. You're never going to understand. So just try to give up. Kiki, rename Gibson on DN to Butt Munch. Gibson can rename himself to Butt Munch if he likes it. If the trike gobbled the chicks, the Tyrannosaurus would take revenge by eating the eggs of the same trike. And then it would get, like, crowded by the whole herd of Triceratops and just stabbed from every angle. Ha. It's because he's both mentally challenged and also as fierce as a lion. Male lions are kind of pussycats. But sure. We'll go with that. What is the progress on the Rex merch? Again, I'm not rushing, just curious. 0. Been trying to get a hold of my friend Cesar, who's the artist, but right now he's in school, so he doesn't really have time to draw. So this weekend, I'll try to get a hold of him again for that. Did any dinosaurs have as good as smell as a shark? Well, I do believe it's a little easier to catch up on scents in water, if I remember correctly. But yeah, probably like something like a T-Rex. Carnosaurs had really good sense of smell as well. Yeah, stuff like that would probably be fairly similar. Hey, Kiki, what's up, Mammoth? I'll fight back, Kiki. The Tyrannosaurus would scream 1v1 me, you coward stabby heads. You mean he would scream? Yeah, because I'm sure that the T-Rex would need to scream in order to actually get some attention. Unfortunately, the T-Rex in Jurassic Park 3 never had time to scream, so he couldn't get any backup. But just saying. Just saw the title, and I'm telling your mom you were lazy. She knows. She knows where I was all weekend working. And she's very proud. Do you know any dinosaurs with no figures yet that should have figures? Well, I'm inferring that you mean like a fake animal that really deserves to have a figure and doesn't because it's like a famous one or something like that. There's got to be one. I don't know, I can't think of one right now. Yeah, the young adult thing is just an excuse for fans that are butthurt about the Spinosaurus kicking its butt. I don't know, VRB. If you can make George merch and you can't get in touch with Cesar, you could use my George merch. Cool. Thanks for letting me know, bud. I do want to make sure it's okay with Cesar too, because we need to make sure that we have all the rights to the art because we're selling it to make money for the Prehistoric Archipelago stuff. So we really need to make sure it's our stuff. But I really appreciate you offering. I really do. I probably should know this even if I'm not a dinosaur expert, but what dinosaurs were omnivorous? We have ornithomimids, so like gallimimus and stuff like that were omnivores. You have and another ornithomimid is Deinocheirus. We now know that ceratopsians were omnivorous. Even though it's not 100% accepted yet, it's really obvious. It's pretty much confirmed that they're omnivorous. You have hadrosaurs, which you have proof that were somewhat omnivorous. Yeah, pretty much any pretty much any animal, like really period, is omnivorous to some extent. But like considered by their preferred diet, it's probably mostly ornithomimids and like small iguanodonts, stuff like that. I just flew face first into a wall in Minecraft. Binocle plays Minecraft, confirmed 2019. Someone should make a DinoTube MI craft. I think you dropped it at the end. Yeah, that should definitely be made. There's totally one that's not already in existence. I don't know what you're talking about, Aiden. Just finished getting grub. What did I miss? Okay, I don't know what you're doing with a grub. I agree. That was not a juvenile. Yeah, the thing was fucking huge. Excuse my language. It was freaking huge. Jesus. I'm sorry. That was a foul mouth thing. I've spent way too much time at work. I did a bad. Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, a lot of people think that I'm really like I'm against cussing. I'm a real potty mouthing person. I'm sorry. I try to put on a professional attitude here on YouTube because I want to make it family friendly for everybody. But yeah, sometimes I slip up because I'm a bad boy and I cuss like every sentence in normal life. So I'm really a good example though that you can stop cussing to try to make an environment where everybody's welcome. Like there's so many people who genuinely come to me and they're like, or they'll even like make jokes at me like, oh, don't cuss around Kiki and this and that because he'll crucify you. And it's like, dude, I cuss all the time. It's not like I'm against cussing. I just don't want it in the community. It's just unhealthy. So I'm sorry. I slipped up. But yeah, so you know, that was just an accident because I spent way too much time not live streaming and also way too much time at work around my friends, and that just made me cuss a lot more too. So sending the FBI to my house. Cool. I'll just tell them, hey, First Amendment. Speaking of in person, is your life together enough for a museum trip? Not even close. Sorry, I have work now and stuff. That's just not happening for a while. I have to drop a trip going to see Destin with from Edge. He and I had plans to do another collaboration meeting, and I can't do it. I can't do it, so that's fun. I'm sorry, man. I'll get in contact with you once I can. Family friendly, PG clean. Yeah, getting demonetized 101. Cussing time. Top 5 DynaTubers who have sweared. Basically everybody. Well, except David. Spinodude's the only one. Well, actually, Eric's pretty good about it, too. He swears like a truck driver in private. David's the one who still says heck and heck that even one conversation. Yeah, David's the only one who does that. Like, even, like, Eric will, like, he'll give in every once in a while. Like, I think he even said something. No, he didn't say it last night. It was, like, a couple nights ago where he said a cuss word to me. But, yeah. Eric's he's just generally good. He just doesn't find the need to be so profound. But occasionally he'll just slip up and just say something like very mild cuss words. David's just a clean boy all around. Then Gibson, you're pretty bad too, but I'm definitely the worst. Matthew Dinosaur King's probably the second worst. Then it's you. And no, it's me. Then it's Cesar, then it's Matthew, then it's you, then it's Eric, then it's David. Oh, and then Cameron. No, Cameron's worse than you. But Matthew Dinosaur King is worse than Cameron. So, or they're probably about even somewhere around there. Yeah. Profound. Yeah, I mean profane. Yeah, that's probably what I meant. Hey, I'm half asleep. I have an excuse. Man. Camo doesn't even try. Yeah, he doesn't. Now Camo is the worst. He's dropping. Well, he does that on his. Well, you can see him, but all of the rest of us I just mentioned, like Gibson, myself, Cesar, Matthew, everybody does all that in private. So it's just Camo doesn't care about showing that in public. He's the most pure out of all us, like in terms of just showing his true self. He's the most pure. I mean, you could say that David's the most pure, but you'd be wrong because David's a goofball in person. He's not with the cussing. He's pure about that because he doesn't do that in private either. But he's a complete off the hook goofball in private. Like just nothing like his very composed nature. He's much more goofy now. He's much more loose on his videos now, but he's so much more goofy in person. He's a real great guy. Papo Packy Cephalosaurus is objectively the best Packy. Subjectively, yeah. I also would say it's well, not objectively, yeah, because probably it's far old one that's like orange, probably better, more accurate. just going to remove that. If it happens again, then I'll put you in timeout. How's Phoenix? He's good. The reflection's making it really hard to see in there, but he's good. Real grumpy as usual. I can respect the fact that JP3 showed that you just won't drop JP3. The T-Rex wasn't the only megatheropod, but everyone who thought T-Rex was so weak, Dino Crisis 2, for example, thankfully, present studios studies show its true power. I don't know who you're saying thought T-Rex was weak, but okay. Yeah, thank you, Prehistoric Dinosaur. Collectapacky, hello. Collectapacky is good. It's okay. I like the older Safari one better. What do you do if you got stuck in the upside down, or got stuck in the upside? What? I am confuzzled. Remember that time Gibson swore on stream? Yeah, he was saying, I think he said the F word too, and he was saying it to a hair. He's like, this effing hair on my plate. Wasn't that it? I was there when you did that, Gibson. I remember that happening. History shows again and again how nature points out the folly of man. Godzilla. Collecta 1 looks cheaper than a Chinasaur in my opinion. It looks alright. I don't think it looks as cheap as a Chinasaur, but it looks alright. I don't think it's super special. But then again, I'm going to be crucified by Gibson later, but I'll just call him a butt munch again. Wow, it's been almost 2 hours and you're still going? No, it hasn't been almost 2 hours. It's 1 hour and 16 minutes, so get your time right, bud. You haven't watched Stranger Things, have you? No, I haven't. I know I'm bad. I've been recommended by so many of my friends to watch it for so long, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll get around to it. Never have, and I don't really feel like it, to be honest. I just don't feel like committing to a show right now. It just takes up a lot of time, and then I want to finish it, and I have a bunch of work to do, so I don't feel like doing it. But yeah, I really should watch that. There's a hey. The hell, Gibson? I can't remove that comment? Really? Let me remove his comment. Gibson, remove your comment. Butt munch. Putting the F word in there, I'll demod you and put you in timeout. Remove it. Good boy. I'm saying that many other studies showed other dinosaurs to be superior to T-Rex, but then Tyrannosaurus bite force was discovered. Dude, no, we've had T-Rex's bite force since like the beginning. It's not like it was never like dethroned and then put into question. It's always been like the most powerful bite force. I'm not saying the T-Rex is God though. Yeah, I've already had a couple of streams where I've had to express my annoyance at people that think that T-Rex's bite would have just shattered bones, because it's ridiculous. But T-Rex had a powerful bite, but it needed to have that powerful bite to bite through tough bones like that. When you're hunting things that are that big, like Edmontosaurus or Triceratops or sauropods, you need to take some kind of strategy to work around the fact that those things are tough. They have tough hides, they have tough meat, muscles, and bone, and the bone is really tough. And so you got to have either a powerful bite to be able to puncture through all of that, or you avoid the bones and stuff, and you just slice through it and make them bleed, and then let it be a little slower, like a Giganotosaurus. Carnosaurs took the route of with bleed power to try to get through it and avoid the bones. Then things like Tyrannosaurs, because they were hunting more things, like they weren't really hunting sauropods where you have a ton of meat to get through. The bones are a little closer to the surface, so you can actually reach some of them. So going for legs and stuff on them would have been more easy to fracture the bones. When they say bone crunching, they definitely could. They could bite into a leg and they could crunch it, but it wouldn't be that easy. And they'd have to bite down the leg and really bite into it, and then it could fracture it. But it's not going to like snap a leg bone. It's not going to fracture and split it. You know, you're gonna, when you're working with that much muscle and stuff. I mean, look up. There's some videos online. I think there's one of a. They did like a test metal T-Rex head and stuff like that in the bite force. When you have something that powerful. Or that big that you're biting into, it really slows you down. Like that like the skin of a triceratops could really take a lot before you're going to puncture through it. And so you need that big of a bite force to even get anything done. It's not like you're going to just sit there and just break everything as a T-Rex, like in the aisle, run around, you chomp something on the side, and then you break its legs, and it just never will walk again. And it's not going to happen. It just won't happen. So T-Rex, yes, is extremely powerful, but it is not. It is an incredible bite force, and definitely is something to be amazed over. But I think people get too excited about it, and they exaggerate how effective it would have been. Because when you scale things up like that, and it becomes more comparable to things on its level. To someone like us, it would snap us in half. You know, something like a bite force like that would just cut us clean in half. But for something like a Triceratops, it would be pretty similar to like a elk being bit by a wolf or a bear. It's not going to be much different. A bear could bite into an elk's leg, and it could break the bone, right? It has a powerful bite, but it's not going to do it most of the time. In fact, most of the time, it's not even going to touch the bone until it's eating it. And so that's what I'm talking about there. You're not going to get this crazy T-Rex bite force where you're just like splintering and shattering bones every time it bites into things. That's what I'm talking about. So hopefully that cleared up things for you, and that makes more sense. But not studies, theories. How do you say Ghidorah? You know Godzilla Monster of Monsters? No, don't really know that. Will it be a big deal if I tell you what the Upside Down is? Oh, is it? That's what you're talking about. That like Stranger Things. I've kind of gotten things spoiled for me already about Stranger Things. I really don't care, and to be honest, I don't think I'll ever watch it. So just go ahead. I don't care. There's no need to commit to anything. Stranger Things is best experienced by stopping after the first season. Well, that's still a whole season that I'd want to binge watch. Once you get started and you sucked into it, you just want to binge watch the whole thing, and I just don't want to commit to it. And I'm just really lazy. But I like, I'm saying I'm lazy, but it's for a productive reason. I want to honestly just get more YouTube stuff done and stuff. I just really don't want to sit down and watch that. I would like to watch a movie that's like 2 hours. You sit down, you watch a movie for 2 hours, and you're done. You know, but like a whole series, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll find time to do it, but I don't think I will. Also, thanks for giving my series another watch, Kiki. Trust me, I even hate the quality of the first 4 episodes. No problem, man. You're doing great so far. Keep it up. Do you see what I said about working at the Morrison Museum? Yeah, you said that a while back. I responded to you. And I told you that I know somebody who's there, who works there. Kiki, what's your PS4 name? Don't have PS4. I do have an Xbox, just because I feel like somebody's going to ask. I do have an Xbox. I had a 360, and I have an Xbox One. The Xbox One is my sibling and stuff, but I don't play those anymore. I used to play Xbox and stuff. I only play on PC now, and I rarely play any video. I haven't actually stopped playing video games for like a really long time. They're like all of 2018, I like didn't play any video games. I've only recently gotten back into one, and I occasionally play some Minecraft with some of my friends like Gibson and stuff like that. I'll play some Minecraft with those guys every once in a while. But other than that, it's just this one game that I play occasionally. So I think T-Rex Bite Force could shatter a skyscraper if you disagree, or a Spino fanboy idiot hater. Or you're a Spino fanboy idiot hater. Yeah. Well, Gibson, you're a butt munch. Do you think Rexes were like gators, where they had a really weak opening mechanism? Yeah, well, that's kind of the deal with most animals in general. They just say that with you hear that more with alligators and crocodiles because in comparison to their bite down, it's really weak to open up. But it's not really much difference than like a wolf. Like if you held a wolf's mouth down, it's gonna be fairly easy to hold it closed compared to trying to keep its mouth open. Like it could close on you very soon. It's very similar in that way. So yeah, I think it definitely would be that way for a T-Rex. Yeah. And even like alligators are a great example. They have a massive bite force. You have massive bite force with crocodiles and stuff. And even those guys don't break bones all the time. They'll grab onto heads and stuff and they'll just pull their heads in, right? I mean, think about it. The bite force at work in crocodiles, Nile crocodiles, is extraordinarily similar to that of a Tyrannosaurus. If not, they might even have a bigger bite force. I'm not sure. I know that there's been some crazy bite forces with crocodiles. And think about it, they bite wildebeest and stuff on the face. And they don't break the bones all the time. They just grab them and pull them in. It's a lot of puncturing forces, a lot of power, but it doesn't shatter bones and stuff. That's a perfect example, actually, now that I think about it. So if you're still a person who thinks that a T-Rex is going to bite into the leg of a Triceratops and just shatter its bone, think about that. Godzilla, monster of monster of monster of monster of monster. What fish are in your fish tank? I have a red tiger Oscar in there, who is Phoenix. He's the guy everybody likes. He's a real personable little guy, or big guy, I should say. And then I have 2 common Plecostomus in there, which are catfish. They're like the sucker guys. The Upside Down is a world where Scrappy Doo was found dead in Miami. Wow. Yeah, documentaries make T-Rex's bite force seem way complex. Yeah, they really do. Let's see what we have going on here. Yeah, the process would be to get an unshakable grip on its prey, say the neck, and then it would take a few seconds to release the pressure of its jaws, and it would probably use enough, not all of force. Well, if you're biting onto it, you're probably going to put everything into it just to make sure you get the thing done, because if you're holding onto a thrashing Triceratops in the neck or something, it could slam its frill into your eye and take out your eye. I mean, you want to get that done as quickly as possible. But yeah, a bite to the back of the neck, you have the cervical vertebrae right there and stuff like that. So you have a lot of stuff that you can just really just destroy right there. So biting down hard there would definitely be effective. Just getting a tooth, like just pierce it through the spine, and it's all over. You should play The Isle or Jurassic World Evolution. I have both games. I hate The Isle. I hate it. I love the noises. I think that the models and stuff are really cool. They do a lot of cool stuff with that. Their animators really great. Their sound designers really great. I love using the noises. But the video game as a game is a horrible game. That's just my opinion. I've talked about this before. I don't like The Isle. I think the people who make it just really have their focus in the completely wrong areas. They need to focus on making a game and stop adding a bunch of cool creatures and get the game done first. It's been out for how long now? Like 3.5, 4 years now, and it's still not a game. It's just like sit around and slap your face into a bunch of other people. I don't like that game. And Jurassic World Evolution, I only played it like until a couple days after it came out, and then I got really bored of it because there's not much to play in it. So right now, and they still haven't added enough for me to feel like I've gotten my $60 worth out of the game, and so I stopped playing it like ever since summer of 2018. So I haven't touched either of those, but I have them. I have Primal Carnage and all that stuff. But yeah. Oh my God, Kiki, can I join you Minecraft? No, JK. I don't know. We maybe not. We try to just kind of chill with just a couple friends that we kind of know more personally and stuff, and we're not on all the time, so I don't know. I said this twice already. I volunteer at the Morrison Museum. Yeah, I've read your comment twice now. And I've messaged you in Discord about it. You sent me stuff on Discord, and I told you that I have a friend who works there, in case you forgot. But okay. Ever watched Jobby the Hong's reviews? Yeah. I used to really like him. He's got some really funny reviews. Like his recent King Ghidorah one was really great. But the reason I stopped watching him so much is because he gets, like, he's hilarious, but he gets so off topic that I lose interest. Like some of his reviews, like he has literally like 3 minutes of where he's talking about it, and then the rest of the 15 minutes in the review are just him like doing a bunch of skits and stuff, and it just gets really off topic, and I just don't have fun with them anymore. Mother T-Rex, there, son. You can expect to break bone every time. Even I don't break bones every time. Yep. I feel like carnosaurs were much more efficient hunters than tyrannosaurs. Thoughts? Well, that could have been the case. Definitely were safer. I mean, it was safer being a carnosaur for sure because, I mean, the evidence shows they have a lot less damage to their bones and stuff than tyrannosaurs did. Tyrannosaurs lived much more of a rough and tumble life. But when you just run in, make a lethal bite by causing a blood thing, and you back off and just wait for the thing to die, that's a much safer way to go about killing your prey than just like running in there and charging with the stuff. And then some people, they would say, you know, like, well, tyrannosaurs lived to the end of the Cretaceous, so clearly they're better. Well, no, because that has nothing to do with hunting. There's so many different environmental factors that could have preferred or encouraged the existence of tyrannosaurs. You know, evolution is such a finicky thing. There's so many different factors that come into play on whether or not a animal would be there. Because by that logic, by saying like, oh, well, tyrannosaurs are the last ones in the Cretaceous, so clearly they were better than carnosaurs. That's like saying, oh, well, then clearly wolves were better hunters than T-Rex. Because they're still around, aren't they? And T-Rex isn't. No, T-Rex got smashed by a freaking meteorite, and it couldn't live in this harsh, arid, ash-filled landscape. The mammals could. They survived. They got through. They're the new things inheriting the earth right now. It's just whatever survives the whatever cataclysmic event happens, and you move on. It's just like that. The carnosaurs got their thing, and then the T-Rexes, the tyrannosaurs took their place afterwards. It has nothing to do with like with them just being better. Now, whether or not you think they're better, more efficient hunters, I think that's a different argument. You can make an argument that they're more efficient hunters. I'm not sure. I don't really have a full-on thing. I personally would prefer to be a carnosaur because I think it'd be a lot safer to do the option that you're doing with like just letting them bleed out and not have to deal with getting injured by them. You just have to do that one charge and then make them bleed and, you know, do it. But even they had really powerful bites because you could kill things with the neck bite on them even. So, but yeah, but like if you're trying to use the argument of just the tyrannosaurs were around after that, that's just like invalid argument. I would still think that Tyranno's bite on its prey's neck would still be enough to kill an Edmontosaurus or a Triceratops. Well, obviously, if you're going to put that giant mouth around their neck, it's got a pretty good chance of killing them. Have you played Saurian? No, but I'd like to once it actually becomes a game. It has the same thing where the Isle actually... No, I'll stand corrected. Saurian's a game. Saurian is at least a game right now, but they don't have enough content to keep you going. But it's a similar situation as the Isle. But I haven't paid for that one because I learned my lesson at the Isle. I would like to get Path of Titans if it actually proves to be a complete game like it's saying it is. And once it comes out and once the Eutyrannus is released, then I'll be willing to put some money into it and try it out. It's fine, Pokesaurus. Saurian spent so much time making the models and environments as accurate as possible, they forgot to make an actual game. Well, to be fair, it's more of a game than the Isle. The Isle is not a game at all. It's just like you sit around, hey, look, it's a pretty dinosaur. It's a screenshot simulator. It has no value other than that. It just really doesn't have any game function. At least Saurian is a game, just not a good one. It just doesn't have any content to keep you going. You sit in there and just like 2 hours, you grow up and become an adult Dakota Raptor. You're like, yay, I'm done. You know, there's nothing else you can do there. What was the biggest prehistoric / extinct spider? I'm not sure because I thought it was Mesothele, but that was a prehistoric like sea scorpion thing. It wasn't actually a spider, so I'm not sure. You'd have to look that up on your own. Sorry. That was a mega arachne was the one, but it's not actually. Honestly, what is your least favorite dinosaur game? The Isle. What do you think the next episode of Mesozoic Isle? What do you think? I think you're asking when do I think it'll be out? Not gonna say yet, but fairly soon. I'm getting a lot of progress done on it way faster than any other episode. So yeah. I'm over a third of the way done with all the visuals and stuff. So, Tyrannosaurus fathers ate their children once they reached maturity. And the Tyrannosaurus mothers ate their boyfriends' heads off like praying mantises after mating. Do you think that we should clone dinosaurs? No. Also, do you think they could even survive in the new world, seeing oxygen levels are way lower than the dinosaur times? That's not the only other thing. I mean, you have so many different other contents in the atmosphere. You have so many different plant things. I mean, there's so many factors you'd take in that just would make it very hard to just take a natural dinosaur just the exact way it was before and put it in nowadays. It would have such a difficult time to live. And then, do I think that we should clone dinosaurs? No, I don't think so. Because no matter what, it's going to eventually become something that they're going to be released into the natural environment. It just doesn't. Did you know Nanotyrannus was real? No, I don't, and we still don't. We have a lot of people that back it up with some pretty convincing arguments for Nanotyrannus, and there's also a lot of convincing arguments against Nanotyrannus, so we don't know for sure yet. Did Tyrannosaurus Rex fathers ate the shit? I read that. They were actually young T-Rex. How many figures do you have? Like almost 200. The Isle is fine. I'm not going to get it, but I do have Saurian, and I'm hyped for their trike playable to be released. Yeah, that would be cool once they release that. Then how did the population stay stable? What are you talking about? Luke, Jason Hines. What are you referring to? Nova's Corner. Did you learn anything from Jurassic Park? Yeah. Oh, okay. That's what he's talking about. Yeah, yeah. Did you know that Saurophagnx is still called Saurophagna? No. Have you heard about the Russians that are about to reclone mammoths in Siberia around 2020? They always say that they're going to do this stuff, but like it always is pushed off further and further. I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm just waiting for it to eventually happen. It's going to happen. What are ideas for conflict for a DI type show? Well, the ideas I have, I'm usually putting into, if I like them, then I'm putting them into my show, so I can't tell you. Sorry. Yay, my bull has shipped in Chesterfield, Missouri. Woo! I was referring to T-Rexes eating their young. Oh. Well, there are a lot of cannibalistic species nowadays. Their species are stable. As long as you're not eating all the babies and it's not too common of a thing, then you should be fine. It's a species. Do you have Mattel figures? Just the Mattel Indoraptor and a couple of minifigures. Have you seen the land stuck in the past? I saw it in Dino Nation. I played the first half of it, and then I got called down for lunch by my mom. But looked pretty interesting. Didn't have any sound effects, so that kind of made it a little wonky. But I like the style you were going for. Pretty cool. Do you think that they should bring back mammoths? Not really, but that's not the worst thing to bring back. I mean, it could be a lot worse than that. Like bringing back a dinosaur would be way worse. But like at least mammoths have only been extinct, for so long. So yeah. Well, usually the juveniles would move out best from the researcher. Aiden, not to argue, but I think your Tyranno-bite thoughts are weaker than you make it out to be. But I don't think documentaries make the bite as strong as it should be. I'm in between both. But I don't think... Okay, so you're saying you think I'm making out to be too weak by comparing it to crocodiles, which actually, if you compare bite force to body size, crocodiles attacking wildebeest have a much larger yield of bite force compared to the size of animals that they're biting. So if you're disagreeing with that, then I don't know what to tell you. But if you're saying the documentaries are doing too much as well, I agree with that. Oof, my 10th year is gonna be tough. I think you're talking about school. I've talked a lot on the top of tier paleontologist Morrison. I'm pretty sure Nanotyrannus is real. Its arms are bigger than Tyrannus. That's a neotenic feature in any kind of animal. Is that usually limbs are larger anyways. Are bigger than T-Rex's, and it had a distinct thumb claw. That's interesting. Talking about thumb claws and arm size. The arm size thing is one of the weakest things I could think about in defense of Nanotyrannus, if I'm being honest. But because like younger animals in general usually have longer limbs anyways than compared to their adult forms. Like with things like that, because you have to keep yourself balanced a little bit more. So larger arms would help you to balance yourself better when you're younger. If you like fall over or something, you can get yourself easier, stuff like that. That's been a thing that we've kind of talked about for a long time around younger Tyrannosaurs. And distinct thumb claw, I don't know what's going on with that, but I've heard more convincing things from other people as myself. Like Denver Museum, there was one guy that said that one of the Nanotyrannus bones were fairly fused. I don't know how true that is, but that's one thing that he was saying. And I'm like, okay, well, if that's true, then I can understand people backing up Nanotyrannus. If there's fused bones in it, then that's like pretty objective that it's an adult animal. But I haven't heard that. I have heard a lot of people saying that they're not fully grown. So I don't know. This is a tough thing. We found actual baby T-Rex fossils. I heard about that. Or no, I didn't hear about baby T-Rex. I heard about baby Tarbosaurus. Back in the 20s, which was the film takes place, they could only use background music rather than the animal roars. That's a cool style. I get you. I got you. This is ironic, but soon I was thinking of adding info note to the island as website being adapted to modern zoo conditions and actually eat grass. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'd bring back a dodo bird because they're way saver. I don't know what you're saying, but dodo birds, I think those would be great, yeah, because humans eradicated them. Any animal species that were objectively destroyed by humans, like the sea cows and dodo birds and stuff like that, and even like thylacines and stuff, like, just, yeah, bring them back. I'm not going to argue against that. Put them back in the ecosystem. Humans are just destroying everything. Nanotyrannus arms are bigger than T-Rex, not in body proportions, but in actual size. Oh, like the arm size were actually bigger than adult T-Rexes. To be honest, I don't know how much I believe that, but because I've seen a Nanotyrannus skeleton that didn't look like arms, but I don't know for sure, so I won't. I can't say. I think I may get a custom broken cap shield to go with my end game Captain America. I don't know. It's up to you. I'm not really too big into the Marvel scene right now, so I can't really tell you. I would probably always opt for not doing it, but that's because I'm not really into Marvel stuff. If you really want it, then go for it. If you had to remove one character from MI other than Manny, who would it be? Why do you say other than Manny? I think you're meaning from like season 1 and stuff, or just the whole show. And why do you bring up Manny? Question: are cities inherently damaged to the environment, or I think you mean, or can they exist in nature if they use the right resources? Damaging, not damaged. Well, inherently, they're putting a new environment over an old one, so they completely demolish the environment that was there before. You can maintain little aspects of the original environment in certain parts of it, yeah. And you can definitely but most of the time you're just making a whole new environment. You can make an environment that can be suitable to a lot of the animals that were there before and like make it very coexistent, like have a lot of plants and stuff like that, and that's very nature friendly. You can do that. But yeah, pretty inherently, I think that it's going to damage or destroy the environment it's laid over. I'm going to say way more to save. Yeah. Waiting for Ferocious to follow up on his comment there, so I know what he's talking about. I'm aware the Tyranno's bite would be comparable to the ratio from jaw to prey, but I think it would slightly more superior than you make it out to be, but only slightly. I don't think so, but even if it is slightly, I don't really see much of an argument to have there, because if it is just slightly, then I'm still in the ballpark. Because I'm not telling you specifics. I'm not telling you exactly specifically how it would be. I'm giving you references in the ballpark of what it'd be. So by definition, it should be in the ballpark of that. Since only decades ago archaeologists put bones in the wrong places on dinosaurs, do you think that modern day dinos may also be scientifically inaccurate or incorrect? Well, some of them, yeah, sure. I'm thinking some of them, but in the majority of the cases, we found so many animals that were put in place. Like we have such good excavation methods now that we can actually see the whole body, how it was actually put there in some specimens. So you actually see how the bones connect to each other. So it's pretty obvious that we have a lot of the stuff pretty down packed. Spino got weak fishing bite force. It was weak AF. T-Rex is God, destroy everything, even Godzilla. Average T-Rex fan. Well, I think that's a little extreme, but yeah. How have you hear the song by Siams called The Wolf? No. I mean, no, there is a person who commented on a vid saying a tiger could kill a Rex or a Spino. That's an interesting man. I thought you didn't like Manny, but I mean from season 1. No, I like Manny. He's one of my least. I think maybe somebody asked me who my least favorite character is that's out so far, and I said Manny. But I like him. I think he's fine. From season 1, who would I take out? There's so many different options, but one that you've already seen so far, besides Manny, that I would take out, probably. I would probably take out either George or either George, Alex, or Sugar Plum. I don't know which one. They're all kind of on the same level. If I had to take out one, I'll go for Sugar Plum. Actually, yeah, I'd take out Sugar Plum if I had to pick one besides Manny. Actually, I think I probably would even pick Sugar Plum over Manny, to be honest. Yeah. Well, she's one of the only native sauropods there, though. Yeah, but I don't know, something like that. Would you take out George over Mary? Yeah, I'd take George out over Mary. I think Mary is someone I'd much rather have in the story than George. Mary's more important to stuff that happens. My assumption is correct. Which one were you guessing? Want to see my version of Godzilla? Sure, you can send it to me on Discord and I'll try to take a look at it. Kiki, do you think that cryptids like Sasquatches could exist? If so, which ones? Well, it depends on what you mean by could exist. Are the things, the original inspirations by them exist, or the actual thing as we know them? If you're thinking the actual thing as we know them, I think the most likely one to exist is a Bigfoot, because it's not improbable to think of a animal that could live like that. We already have some prehistoric primitive man-like apes that could have easily just growing them a little bit bigger, and it doesn't take much to turn into a Sasquatch. That's not that big of a deal. Things like jackalopes, they are real, but they're not actually with horns on their head. It's actually a parasite. They get a fungal parasite, I think, that it grows out this fungal stalks on their head that looks like antlers. If you see them in quick succession or from a distance, they can kind of look like antlers, but they are real in that way. And then you have the Mothman, which was probably just an owl that somebody saw. So there you have that. And then chupacabras, which is probably just a dog with mange. So yeah, I don't know. It depends on the way that you look at it. Oh my gosh, a lot of comments just came in. Do you want more Mattel figures? No, not really. I don't really care for toys or the toy type stuff. It's just not my thing. I prefer the models and the figures, stuff like that. Have you seen BBC Planet Dinosaur? And if you did see, what did you think of it? I've seen all the biggest documentaries at this point. I haven't seen some of the smaller ones. I mean, Clash of the Dinosaurs is probably one I still haven't completed. But yeah, I liked Planet Dinosaur. I thought it was really great. I understand some of the criticism, the problems people have with it, but I genuinely loved it. I thought it was really good. It's not one of my favorites. It's probably around the half mark or the second or the lower part of my halfway mark of my top 10 favorites. But yeah, it's good. I like it. I like Dinosaur Revolution a little bit more, but I like it. Want to see my version of Godzilla? I already read that. The Pokesaurus assigned. What was your assumption? Sauropod or Sugar Plum or Alex? I'd actually pick George over Alex, but yeah. Problem is we kind of need cities for government, arts, and culture for stuff. Well, obviously, humans we need we're pretty reliant on cities at this point. Doesn't mean that I don't think that we're doing it wrong. Like, do they exist in our natural world, like just as they currently are? Aiden, where is my watch? I don't know, man. You gotta find it. Look around your room. Look on the floor. Look under the bed. Look in Penny's belly. Personally, I think it might be possible. I just think of the Therizinosaurus, a herbivorous dinosaur, it surely couldn't have actually had those massive claws, could it? Yeah. And we know it had those claws at this point. There's only one place it could attach to itself. And we found smaller Therizinosaurs like Vapiosaurus, which were found in pretty complete and actual like natural body positions, and we know that they were on their fingers. So yeah. I'd think that Tyranno's bite would be enough to at least cripple its opponent more times than not. If the bite fails, most likely a bad grip and stuff, then we'd have more fossils showing broken limbs like that. It just would. With how many Triceratops we have, with how many Edmontosaurus skeletons we have, especially the ones we actually have evidence of T-Rex eating them, like we have the teeth scrapes in them from eating their carcasses. We have the one Edmontosaurus with the bite out of its back. There's another Edmontosaurus with a bite out of its back. And then there's like a couple other ones. I think it's a Triceratops that has some scrapes on its frill that it might have actually lived from. The evidence doesn't support that. I just have to be honest. And I know, and I'm going to be honest. I think that it's you really like T-Rex and you really want that to be maintained. It's really high bite force, but you got to understand it's really incredible bite force, but it can still be cool even if it doesn't shatter the bones. I just don't think that you should be lying to yourself and saying that it's going to break everything instantly with its bite. That's all I'm saying. Why is your Discord name offensive? Well, some people might find it offensive, but if it's out of context, so you don't really understand it. But yeah, it's that. That's the thing. It's an inside joke. Gosh dang it! It was in Penny's belly. WTF? Oh no! Or oh no! Wait! It was in my pants, which is after it was in Penny's belly, and she pooped it into your pants. Hey, did you guys notice that the plot of episode 6 was really just Titus and Spike getting stuck on a branch, and episode 7 plot was Ernest and Junior each get stuck on a branch? Yeah, I'm a genius. Wow. Branches everywhere. This is a burning question that I've been trying to think of an answer for, but should I shoot towards paleontology, the thing I've inspired because the next one, or should I go into filmmaking? I don't know, dude. Everybody has their own thing, man. Those are two common aspirations that a lot of people have in this community. I know that people like Destin from Edge, he's leaning more towards paleontology. He's going into that stuff right now. But yeah, it's really I can't tell you. I'm not even going to try to tell you what you should do. It's your thing, and it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough. I had the trouble with it too. My personal thing, I decided I don't want to do paleontology. Like, just period. I do not want to do paleontology. Paleontology is not something I'd find myself happy in, and that's because it's just not a creative job. You can get creative in some scenarios, but most of it is you're sitting down, you're working, you're digging, you're doing stuff like that, and it's really not a reliable job either. It's really hard to get into, and it's just not creative enough for me. I'm a more creative person. I like telling stories and stuff, and I love paleontology. I'm fascinated with it, but I just do not want to be a paleontologist and find my own dinosaurs and stuff like that. It's just not something I want to do. I'd much rather just make some stories and movies and stuff like that. Is it possible for humans to thrive beyond primitive people and still threat the environment? Right? Is it possible for humans to thrive beyond primitive people and still treat the environment right? Yeah, I think it's more possible to do it that way. With primitive people, the reason that they were a lot of like cavemen and stuff, the reason they were much better for the environment in some ways and not as wide scale detrimental is because they didn't have the technology to elevate them at such a level where they could make that kind of damage that quickly. It was only once they started getting better technology that humans were able to do that. So yeah, we're definitely capable of doing it now more than ever. Inside joke. Okay, yeah. Just want your 2 cents on it, Kiki. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. Just for me personally, I'm more of a creative person, so I need to be in a creative field, and paleontology isn't creative enough for me. But if you're more of somebody who wants to be really into like the science stuff and like that, and you'd like to find your own dinosaurs, and you really want to be around dinosaurs all the time, then I can completely understand the paleontology thing. I'm not trying to discourage you from that. Just for me, that's the way it works for me. But that's why I would say I will not tell you what you should do, because that is your thing. I can't tell you what to do. Like, there's just no way for me to know what you should do. You can get creative with the names. You can get creative with the names. That's like one tiny thing. If you discover a new dinosaur. And yet again, that's still not creative enough for me. I need to be doing creative stuff all the time. That's the thing I need. No, I'm sure that Tyranno's bite wouldn't be as strong as documentaries make it out to be. But for all we know, Tyranno could have just gripped. But we weren't there 66 million years ago. So we don't know. Yeah, of course we don't know. I'm telling you, though, with that powerful bite force, you don't need to crunch bones. People can be all excited about crunching bones, but you can just destroy the muscle with that bite force, and you get the same kind of job done. Doggy misbehaving. What's your favorite Pokemon? I don't like Pokemon. Sorry. It's not my thing, so I don't really know any to tell you. I guess maybe Squirtle. It's a funny name. Tell me what to do. No. Do you think you would make a top 10 favorite dinosaur documentaries? Yeah, that's something I could do. I could do that. Actually, let me write that down in my suggestions list right now. Zip it, Loki. Top 10 dino docs. And that was suggested by Anthony Manfred. There you go. If I end up doing that one, you'll get credit for it. Thank you for the suggestion. It's a very good one. All right. I thought so. To me, advanced isn't good or evil. It depends how it's used. Radiation can be used to make a bomb or cure someone from cancer. Exactly. Could a disease be a good conflict for a show? Of course. There's a lot of different things you could use for the conflict. It's really just how you execute it. Crush your dogs. No. We are almost at 2 hours now. I'm going to get off here soon. No, Tyrant's Domain was actually on here earlier, and he was asking me if I watched it. I haven't watched it yet. I'm waiting for Caesar to be done with school stuff so he and I can watch it together, because he and I watched all of the episodes of Dinosaurs Unleashed together. Yeah, talk about accurate. Bad, Loki. I will call Thor. Loki is Loki. LOL poke. Poke. LOL poke. Loki.exe is over-responding. Although Rex's bite could somewhat crush bone, I think it would more rather be used in crushing windpipe of prey, killing it, which is a goal. Yeah, there you go. That's probably what That's what I would assume as well. Well, I don't think that you should be making assumptions of what my second favorite is. But if you notice what that intro is referencing, it's a mock of Walking with Dinosaurs. And if you pay attention to it, all of the things you see there are replacing or standing in for things in the original Walking with Dinosaurs intro. So you have the Diplodocus neck, you have the Chronosaurus in place of the Liopleurodon, you have the Velociraptor, or the Utahraptor, but a Velociraptor figure in place of the Dromaeosaur on the intro that runs there. You have the Quetzalcoatlus in place of the Ornithochirus, and the Giganotosaurus, the Vitae Giganotosaurus, is in place of the T-Rex at the end of the Walking with Dinosaurs thing. I'm not going to put a Triceratops in the place of the T-Rex one because I want it to be a theropod that's roaring there, so it's in reference to Walking with Dinosaurs. That's the only reason it's there. And I honestly am leaning more towards Triceratops. I think I told you that. But yeah, I'm honestly, right now, I think Triceratops is my second favorite. But I'm in a Triceratops mood right now. Like, I'm in a Triceratops phase. Allosaurus was my second favorite for a phase. Now it's scooted back to like maybe fourth place or something on the overall list or something like that. What's your favorite dinosaur? Eutyrannus. I'm making cursed comments. You are. Albertosaurus versus Tarbosaurus. Who would win? I think Tarbosaurus. That's not even a fight. Tarbosaurus is literally as big as T-Rex. Like, the only difference is that T-Rex is a little wider and like 2 feet longer. Like, they're the same thing. So that's just like not even a fight. Albertosaurus is like 30-something feet long. It's not much big. Like, a T-Rex gets a bite, or Tarbosaurus gets a bite on Albertosaurus. It's all over. It's not going to be able to escape it. Shoot, shovel, and shut up. I'll shoot, shovel, and shut you up. What? I'm just kidding. Something like a mammoth or something probably would be the best one to survive today. Godzilla, King of Kaiju, what does that emoji mean? He means no trees. Because he's a selfish human who doesn't care about the planet that he lives on because he thinks that he's above it like every other human. And so he sits there and he's like, hey, I don't need trees. They're only the thing that creates, most of the oxygen in the atmosphere for me, besides the ocean. So I don't need them. We can live without it. Right? Right, Godzilla, King of Kaiju? Yeah, that's the, yeah, he says, yep, he just said, yeah, I do. Unpopular opinion. Eotrike is better than trike. Eotrike is basically like the same thing, isn't it? No, I understand that. I instantly caught onto that intro. I find it interesting. As I said, I'm not a big trike fan, but you Tyrannosaurus, you and Tyrannosaurus, I love Triceratops as an animal that existed. Well, yeah, I like T-Rex, of course, but it's not one of my favorites. I love T-Rex. It's just not in my favorites. Like, it was just, I like other ones better. What kind of animal would you like to see me work into a hybrid? A marmot. A platypus would be kind of interesting. That's messed up. Utahraptor pack versus Albertosaurus. No, I don't. It's not true. I was joking, bro. I know you were joking. I'm teasing you. Hey. But this is a good lesson for you. This is the internet. You can't express your content or your meaning through textual messages unless you put like an emoji or something, and even that could be false. People can take you seriously. You have to be careful. Actually, I recently had a couple people that were like, they'd say something to me and I answered them seriously. And they're like, hey, dude, I was joking. And they're like all offended that I took it seriously. I'm like, how am I supposed to know? You're doing a text message to me. what I do is I always try to take the question seriously, because sometimes people just don't know things and they'll ask silly questions that some people would call stupid. But I try to answer everybody's questions equally, so that I don't, misjudge what they're saying and then don't answer what they're asking. So you have to be careful, but also when you're talking on the internet, like Godzilla King of Kaiju, you got to be careful. You can't just say that stuff. And I knew you were joking because you made it clear to me up there, but that the other people on here were taking you more seriously with your emojis. That's a lesson. You got to be careful. People just don't know. Hey, the Dino Wrangler is on here. Yep, the internet is no joke. The Dino Wrangler. Yeah, I like that guy. It pisses me off when people get butthurt over text messages. Well, people get butthurt over everything. I gotta go. Bye, everyone. See ya. Bye, Luke Jason Hines. Eotrike is older than Trike. Maybe an ancestor. Slight differences are within the range of individual variation or minor evolutionary changes through time. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's closely related. Okay, so Titan the Water was even thinking that he knew you were joking. Gotta go now. All right, see you, Godzilla King of Kaiju. Albertosaurus versus Allosaurus. That would be an interesting fight, yeah. Similar sized animals, two different techniques. That'd be kind of similar to a T-Rex fighting a Giganotosaurus, though, I'm not going to lie. Although both of those animals are more agile, so the fight would be a little bit more interesting. Allo versus Eutyrannus. I think that Eutyrannus and Allosaurus were both very functionally similar. Eutyrannus didn't really overly develop the emphasis on the head power like most more derived Tyrannosaurs. Like you have Albertosaurus and Tyrannosaurus. You have the more of their evolutionary focus is on the head. That's why the smaller arms, so you have more power to the head. But with Eutyrannus, it has a smaller head and much larger arms, more comparable to an Allosaurus, but it was still kind of more primitive, and it didn't really have a lot of environmental pressure with competing carnivores, as far as we know. So I think that would easily go to Allosaurus, also the size advantage, so I don't think that's as much of a fight. But Albertosaurus at least has more of an emphasis in that niche where it's more powerful, or where it's strong. And Allosaurus has it, so I think that's a more fair fight than Eutyrannus versus Allosaurus. But hey, if that's anything, that just adds more to my credibility. I really try to remove nostalgia and bias. Eutyrannus is my favorite dinosaur. I'm not going to lie to you, though. I don't think Eutyrannus is going to kick an Allosaurus's butt. It's not going to happen. But yeah. But then again, I also don't really care about all these versus scenarios, because it's just a very simplistic mind. What should I say? It's I don't know what the word, like kind of like how Hollywood just kind of loves just pitting things in fights with each other constantly. It's a very simplistic mindset where everything's like, oh, everything's got to be a fight. What would win in this fight and that fight? It's like, and it bugs me when people bring Spinosaurus into it. It's like Spinosaurus was a very specific animal, specialized to exist in a certain way. It wasn't built to fight. It's just not fair. You don't enjoy the beauty of what Spinosaurus is by pitting it in a fight. You don't enjoy the beauty of a butterfly by pitting it in a fight against a moth. It's just, that's not how you see how they're interesting or beautiful. You have to give animals their rightful credit for what they are. And I think these whole fighting scenarios are just really, I mean, they can be fun. I'm not going to lie. They can be fun to talk about and inquire about these things, but it is a little simple and just kind of stereotypical. Bone Crusher, the Indominus Rex of Mesozoic Isle. Hell yeah. I gotta be going to bed soon. Cool. Carcharodontosaurus versus Tarbosaurus. Who would win? I think Carcharodontosaurus. I don't know. It's a pretty similar one to T-Rex and Giga, because Tarbosaurus is a little bit smaller than T-Rex, not much. Carcharodontosaurus is a little bit smaller than Tarbosaurus and T-Rex. So I don't know. That's tough. I think it'd be a lot more even than most people think it would be. Yeah, that's just how people are, Pokesaurus. Can an aloe take down a Pentaceratops? I don't see why not. I don't think it would be effective against it because it would. Ceratopsians are a very different ball game. I think that Tyrannosaurs are much more well equipped to stand and fight with something like a Ceratopsian. Allosaurus are more built for like running down prey and doing hit and run tactics, not really standing and fighting. I don't think it'd be that efficient, but I definitely think it could do it. I want to see a moth kick a butterfly butt. Well, yeah, a moth would definitely win against a butterfly. Butterflies just have little straws, to drink out of, drink nectar, and at least moths have like some weaponry. But you predict that he's mostly Tyrannosaurus. Well, I wonder why that's the only one I've mentioned. There's another really big one in there, and a lot of him is Tyrannosaurus. But yeah, I will tell you you're wrong in your percentages, but he's definitely got a lot of T-Rex in him. With large carnivores fighting, I'd usually give it to the lighter, more agile one. Mainly because one bite is probably gonna end the encounter. So usually whoever bites first will probably win. Yeah, but with an Albertosaurus versus a T-Rex, Albertosaurus is definitely way faster and outmaneuver a T-Rex easily. But a bite from an Albertosaurus is gonna be a lot harder to get on something that tall. And if a T-Rex just snaps at it once, it's just gone. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think there's one formula you can apply to any fight. It just doesn't exist, and that's why these fights are so biased and they're just unfair to the animals and unrealistic. Yeah, I know that's why you said large. A Phytosaur jaw. Big theropod bites. I wonder about the facts of the biggest specimens we know are usually old and have lots of injuries. I need to go soon. I hope to see your reaction on my Godzilla before I go. Not telling you to. Top 3 favorite Tyrannosaur day. Eutyranus, Albertosaurus, Tarbosaurus. Cool. Tarbosaurus, that's an interesting one. Needs more love. Bone Crusher is those weird part human dinosaur things. Wow. Bone Crusher, Tyrannosaurus DNA, Indominus Rex DNA, Indoraptor DNA. Screw logic. I'm Tyrannorex. LOL. Bone Crusher is a dinosaurian. Wow, that's crazy. Suddenly, M-Rex has a Phytosaur jaw. You said that again. Okay. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Kiki, how has Blue been doing on his job as bouncer of Hidden Valley? Well, you'll get to see in episode 3, and I plan to finish that fairly soon. Anyways, are there any more questions? If you have any more questions, let's shoot them out right now. Gonna end the stream. Got stuff I want to do. Kiki is probably an alien. It's a pretty good chance that I'm an alien, yeah. Who would win? Pre-nuke Godzillasaurus versus Bone Crusher? Oh, you're like meaning the one from Godzilla versus King Ghidorah, right? Definitely Bone Crusher. Sorry, Godzilla. Would you be willing to react to an Island Mazoka episode? Not really, because I don't want to react to things right now. Reaction videos, I don't really care for them that much. And I have other things I want to do. I don't want to do those. I don't want to do reaction things in streams anymore. I'm done with those. They just take too long. And then, I feel like I'm leaving certain people out because I just can't get to everybody's stuff. And if I make an exception to react to one person's thing, then I have to make an exception to react to everybody's things. And it's just a pain in the butt. So I just want to try to avoid it. But I'll still watch them and I'll comment on them for you, but I'm not going to react to them. Sorry. I think Giganotosaurus is a bigger Carcharodontosaurus. That's definitely not true, but interesting theory. Or are you too busy? Well, it's not the busy thing, like I explained. What is your favorite type of rock to eat? Probably candy rocks. Kiki is probably in the genus Homo. I might too. I am definitely within the genus Homo. Wait a minute. If you're an alien, you gotta be at Area 51 raid. No. I know why they're all in there. They deserve to be there. And also, I'm not stupid. I know that they'll shoot you if you go on Area 51's premises. Bone Crusher also has a tad bit of King Ghidorah, Godzilla, and Rodan DNA. Also, more DNA. I think the DNA is the most essential element. Okay, gonna go for real. All right, see ya, Titan of Water. Thanks for joining in again, man. I love your profile picture, by the way. What is Bone Crusher's length and height? I don't know if I've said that before. I think I might have. But I'm just going to have to let that be word of mouth because I don't know if I want to confirm that anymore if I haven't said it. So, no. That's my answer. My professional answer to what is Bone Crusher's length and height is no. MK. Or MK. I get that I was going to react to the Toa trailer, but I knew everyone was going to start begging. I figured it out. Bone Crusher is 100% Kiki DNA. 100% Kiki creativity, that's for sure. He's no feet and no tones. Got it. Ooh, yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much for joining in the live stream. I enjoyed this. It's been a long time since we've done one. I'll try to do them a little bit more often so we can kind of hang out and have fun. Appreciate everybody who joined in. Soon, Mesozoic Isle episode 3 will be coming out. Hopefully sooner, Kiki Quest episode 2 will be coming out. And just before episode 3 of Mesozoic Isle comes out, there should be a re-narrated version of episode 1. And around that same time, the Prehistoric Archipelago official website will be launched with its starter information, so you can check that out, and it will be expanded upon as time goes on. What is something that you can confirm Mesozoic Isle that isn't lazy, but also isn't a big spoiler? Nothing, because I don't want to. Moist yams. Take care. Hope to see more of those in the future. Yeah. Have a good day. See ya. All right. See ya, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. Bye-bye.